Hi everyone, I am Isaac with Derek Vallarta, and did you know that Puerto Vallarta is one of the most sought out places to live in and also one of the most welcoming, friendliest, and safest city in Mexico? So if you are looking to relocate or you just want to find a nice home away from home, Puerto Vallarta is for you. Today, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine that can assist you in buying or selling real estate here in Puerto Vallarta. Let's go. Derek Carkner, everyone. Derek, thank you so much for meeting with us. So we're talking about real estate today, and I wanted to know, how is it that you got started in real estate? What motivated you to get started in real estate in Puerto Vallarta?
Well, first of all, I wasn't sure, I was ever going to stay in Vallarta or live in Vallarta and need to work. And then when I decided I'm going to stay here and live here and work, it was the cliche thing to do, kind of, for so many expats that do it. So I thought, how can I set myself apart?
Right,
so I did like a negotiation class at Yale. I made sure I was well educated in real estate. I did all the courses you need here and then some. With the United States as well, with NAR, and I'm Canadian. I did some courses in Canada, and then all the ones in Vallarta. So when people say, listen, there's no license or anything like that, not true. A lot of agents are very well educated, and if they're a member of AMPI, there's a lot of education that you need to do. So I wanted to make sure I was well prepared.
Yes,
but I had kind of a fascination with it always. When I was a little kid, one of my best friends, after school, we would draw floor plans. We would just draw the pool and the bathroom here off the bedroom, and all
so
this
you
stuff.
could have just been an architect. I mean,
I
that's
could
a
have been,
possibility.
but I didn't know what that was at the time. And my parents would, on Sundays, we'd go to open houses and stuff. I would sometimes give my mom a little seashell soap Sunday night, and she'd say, "Where's that from?" I said, "That was from the open house." She's like, "You took that from the open house?" And I didn't know.
Was that allowed?
I thought you go through this new house. It was beautiful. It was like a party gift.
And a shell soap, why not, right?
Yeah. And I learned. And so now at my open houses, I check everybody in and out to make sure they don't take anything. So.
Wow, so that's how you got started into real estate.
Yeah.
Was it difficult getting ready and preparing for real estate?
Well, I knew that when I decided to work in real estate, I wanted to work with Ryan Donner at Donner & Associates, because I had seen him starting his company and met with him and knew that was going to be the best place for me. He offered so much support, so much wisdom, so much experience, and we've gone on to become an official kind of great place to work in Mexico, which is a great designation, because it's not just all the serious kind of support education-wise, but it's a fun place to work. I'm kind of I'd like to joke around, so it's important that I can joke around.
Exactly. Right? And it allows you to grow and develop ideas and basically be good at what you do.
Right, and kind of foster a great team environment, so I can ask any other agent questions. I can message somebody late at night saying, I don't understand this, or they message me, say, hey, I know you've dealt with this before, can you help me out? And we're a great team, so I love that.
It's really good to have experience in this industry. And now, you said you prepared, you've been here in 8 years in Puerto Vallarta, but how long have you officially been an agent?
Half that, so 4 years.
4 years, okay.
Yeah, took me a while to figure out. I mean, again, we were talking about the Gay Men's Course. I started out here as a performer.
Which is really good performer, by the way. I love the way you play those keys.
Thank you. Yeah, lucky enough to start kind of finding or rediscovering my love of music and playing at Encanto, which is right across the street from our office, so I see it every day, and a little part of my heart is there all the time.
It would be nice if they'd be back, though.
Yes, everybody misses Tracy Parks and the wonderful
And that
spot.
was one of your homes, right?
Yeah, I had piano bar stuff there, so I just kind of got to play a lot more and sing a little and meet all these great singers in town. And then I started doing some fundraisers with singers, and I still do that. So I don't perform as much, but I do fundraisers if I'm asked, or I always do a Christmas in July show. And this year I had 22 singers that came and participated, and so we raised some money for Rise. We always do a different charity. So, and when buyers or potential buyers come to Vallarta and ask, what's so special about Vallarta? Why is everybody moving here? I mean, it's the people most often.
Absolutely.
But it's the climate, it's the fact that there's such great entertainment here.
Climate.
We have so many good entertainers here, per capita or whatever you want to say, that people don't have anywhere else, really. It's amazing. And they come here in high season. They come from all over, big cities, from Toronto, Vancouver, New York, Los Angeles. They just come down, whether it's drag queens or cabaret singers, such great performers that come down here. So you can really see them at a bargain compared to American prices.
Right. It's like the whole world of entertainment gets together here in Puerto Vallarta, just like you mentioned. Now, with everything that you've studied and how you've prepared, what would you say that is one of the experience that you have? What would you say that's my experience? I mean, the whole real estate, selling, doing the deals.
Well,
you're a deal guy.
Sales is kind of always something. I always worked in hospitality. I owned a restaurant, but I was a waiter, actor/waiter for a long time in Toronto. And so you learn about sales, and soft selling and upselling and all sorts of that. So I had that sales experience, but mostly the customer service that I had from the good restaurants that I worked in, where whether they were a chain like Hard Rock, where you're trained really well for customer service, or some of the best restaurants in Toronto that I helped open and worked at and trained people at, where the service needs to be impeccable. So that's what I bring to the real estate.
It's very important.
I think that's what
very important. Absolutely.
The good word of mouth that I have, or the positive word of mouth, is based on my customer service.
It's really good. So if you guys, this is your agent, definitely. But I have more questions so that you can keep your eye on. What is the current state of the local real estate market here in Puerto Vallarta?
The current state, I guess there's kind of two answers.
Okay.
Been growing for the last decade.
We've seen it for sure, definitely.
All of the pre-construction, we still talk about pre-construction, but all the condos that are there, they've just been, it's booming. It's booming, which is great. It's great for the agents, but it's great for everybody. I mean, economically. I mean, people talk about, squeezing some people out into the suburbs and out to PTL and stuff, and that's happening all over Mexico, but it happens all over the world.
Absolutely.
It's people in New York City, were squeezed out for skyscrapers and stuff.
Absolutely.
It's the nature of a great place to live, where people want to, you can't just come here and live in the water. You need land.
Absolutely.
And it's been beneficial to many people. I talked to some neighbors, and they had an old little house, and they were like, we wanted to sell, and people offered us a lot of money, and now we're in a nice place.
Right.
We're not downtown, but they didn't want to be downtown anymore.
Right, and they have something that they've gotten back for their property that they can do something or a lot more.
They have a better life now, they've said. So that's kind of good.
That's where I was leading to.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So, which neighborhoods or areas are in high demand and why here in Puerto Vallarta?
Well, the downtown area, which is kind of from Centro all the way to Amapas, kind of a little bit beyond Zona Romantica, but the romantic zone, which is right downtown, Emiliano Zapata, is where almost everybody wants to live. And then often, depending on their budget, they find that they can't afford to live there because prices have gone up a lot.
Absolutely.
Unless, you get to deal with pre-construction. So Cinco de Diciembre, over by the stadium, kind of just not too far. You can still walk into town.
It's relevant to all the places.
Yeah, it's still close, and it has some great restaurants. It's still close to the
shopping.
beach. Yeah,
if you want to buy accessories.
There's some hills, but part of Cinco doesn't have hills, so it's actually a great option for people that are looking with a smaller budget.
And it's so good to be able to have everything so close to where you just walk from one place to the other, walk to the beach. Like you said, everything is so close.
Yeah, El Coloso is growing now. It's so close. It's just up the river, like 5-minute, 10-minute walk from here, and so it's developing a lot more now. And then of course, Fluvial and Versailles, they're all growing. There's lots of different areas that are growing. It's part of Vallarta's growth in general.
Speaking about growth, how do you think the market will evolve in the next 6 to 12 months?
There's been a bit of I don't want to say necessarily stall, but due to some events in the United States, people have been a bit leery about buying. They want to figure out what's happening with their money. And so there are some properties that should have sold that are gorgeous and at a good price that have just been sitting, and that's one explanation for it. Things are always kind of cyclical. It's not always like foot on the gas all the time. There's lulls in the market. Summertime is traditionally a bit of a lull. I've still, had sales every
really
month, and our office has had a really good summer. And yeah, you can sometimes find some bargains in the summer, stuff that's left over from the spring, and people come down and buy that. And there's also, it was busy. I just saw today, the airport was just as busy last month. Busier than the year before in July. So
it's good. That is really good.
So yeah, there's still lots of people coming down. And of course, when people buy condos and rent them out in high season, they can only come down and use their condo in the summertime. So they're coming down and checking it out and realizing this heat and humidity is all over North America now. So really, there's no escape anywhere. So why not come down here and have tacos?
And margaritas. And buy a condo while you're at it.
Exactly. Or a house.
Right, or a house. Definitely a house. I would go for a house. It's just me, but it's up to you guys. So in 6 to 12 months, would you say the real estate will be stronger than it is now?
It's on this trajectory. So when people ask if it's a good, solid investment in Vallarta, it's proven that it's going up. People are still just finding out about Vallarta. It's being written about as a great place to live, a great place to retire, a safe place, great drinking water. Now you hear about all the great people and the great entertainment and all that stuff. And all the pockets are starting to, still grow. Centro, just across here, is a really great up-and-coming neighborhood. There's a lot of kind of turnaround from older buildings, renovations, and some small projects going up in there. But it's so close to us right here that I think that's going to be one of the next hot spots.
And not to mention the views. The views from El Centro down out to the beach and to the city, they're gorgeous. So beautiful. You have to find one of those places. So can you walk us through your typical day as an agent, as a real estate agent? How does your day go about?
Typical day. I mean, I have a little dog, so I got to walk my dog. And then I have a coffee and I check new listings. I check price reductions or price. Sometimes they go up in price, but check the listings to see what's changed, what's been closed or what's pending. So I'm aware of the market and stuff, and I'm like, oh, my clients were interested in that condo, and now somebody put an offer and beat us to it. So okay, we have to keep looking for something else. And I make a few notes. Sometimes they're mental, and sometimes I write them down. And then
are you good at your mental notes?
I'm often good, and then sometimes terrible. So I'm not consistent.
Same here too. I have to write them down.
But then depending on if we have kind of some meetings, we're an agency that has a sales meeting every week, but we also have a great marketing meeting where we have some great input and seminars on how to market ourselves better or properties better with our marketing team here and our head of marketing, Pablo. We have another meeting that has to do with various topics that are of interest or to keep us aware of maybe new products within our CRM system and how we can help our clients better. So that takes about an hour.
Customer service with your client.
And then ideally there's showings, and often there's showings. There's sometimes 2 or 3 showings. Do you have
like an everyday showing? Or?
Usually, and I have several listings, so it's juggling what time you can do them at. If my assistant has to go to do some, if some other agent, I have to call on them to do some because you can't be the same place 3 different times. And and then there's follow-up, dealing with clients, following up on leads. There's a lot of people contacting me and saying, hey, we're looking to buy a property in Vallarta. And I'm like, great. Where do you want to live? What are you looking for? 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom?
The questions to follow up to make sure you have
and I know we talked about pre-construction. A lot of people are scared about that. There isn't. I think that's one of the best messages to get through. There's no need to be scared of most pre-construction. If you're dealing with an agent with AMPI who's knowledgeable of the developers,
you can help every step of the way.
Yeah, if it's a developer that's written a Profeco contract, which is kind of this federal contract, then we know that they are legit.
Right.
if they have all of their ducks in a row, like an environmental assessment done. Like we can check all that for you, and often they have a good track record. We can say they built this building, this building, this building.
And I can see how people can be afraid of construction because it could be a little overwhelming because there's so much going on from the design to tearing it down or reconstructing. So I can see why that can be.
Oh, but they're like, I heard somebody lost their money, and they're like, 20 years ago. They're like, but
Things
the market
change,
now,
absolutely.
yeah, it's not. You're protected better by the federal government. You're protected by the agents that know better. Because it used to be a lot more like they call them coyotes, like people that were just selling properties to people. And but now, the contracts will say if for some reason you'll get your money back, there's a penalty. You're going to get this much money. You're going to get offered another condo in another building. Other way you're safe, or get all your money back.
And you
plus
guys
interest.
make sure, right? You guys make sure that if there is any construction or remodeling going on, you guys keep track of everything and you make sure that everything is legit and you don't worry about any losses.
Yeah, and I run
really
stuff
good.
by our legal team here. We have lawyers, in-house lawyers and stuff, so they're well protected. And I think that's something to get across, that it's not just somebody, they think, oh, somebody's building something and you lose your
Right.
shirt. It's not really the case. And in fact, you can buy something at, like 150,000, and then by the time the building's ready, a year and a half to 2 years later, it's worth 300,000.
Right.
You doubled your money. Like, it's a great investment opportunity for people.
Especially because Puerto Vallarta is in high demand, so the value just goes up in property.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you stay, I know you said you make notes and mental notes, but how do you stay organized and manage multiple clients and listings?
So my assistant is great that way. Angela is
I
the
love
best
assistants.
assistant. She is amazing. So she's been a godsend to me this year because I can just send them like a voice memo on WhatsApp. Be like,
Oh, nice.
remind me to call them. Can you email them for me? Send that contract.
Assistants are
So
amazing.
so that's great.
I can relate to that.
And she's great about following up. She'll say, okay, you asked me to remind you about that. I'm like, oh, thank you, yes. We use Zoho, which is a great customer relation management kind of software here. So our CRM system is great. There can be reminders, you can put follow-up, you can flag an email, you can do all of that stuff. And there's all different sections. So it's really good. So really, I spend time within that every day going through my listings and deals and the contacts and leads, and I can just kind of make notes within that, or click done, so that
Next
keeps
to
me
the next
organized, and that's what's helpful that Ryan has that in place for us.
So what would you say, I mean, this might be one of the things, but what would you say is the most challenging part of being a real estate agent, and how do you overcome it?
Great question. I mean, the most challenging part, I think that it's
It's a breeze here in Puerto Vallarta.
yeah, it's not. There are
there
sometimes like any business personalities to deal with, of other agents or of clients.
Absolutely. I can relate to that.
And that kind of is maybe something, and again, maybe with my customer service background, that I can vent to other agents and stuff, but my clients would never know how frustrating that they are.
That's a really good way to handle difficult clients and demanding clients. It's important, I think, to vent and be able to talk to your coworkers. And
Well, like I said, never let them see you sweat.
right, never let them see you sweat. Let's talk about a little bit about industry trends and technology. How do you think technology is changing the real estate industry?
Well, AI obviously is huge everywhere. Vallarta, though, most of its agents are older because they come down here and retire. There aren't a lot of even under the age of 30. There aren't that many agents. There are some, and more of those are Mexican, but not a lot of Canadian American agents that are that young and moved down here. So they're just starting to develop some AI, and there's some great agents that use it more in their social media. I know people are worried about it, but you just need to be able to use it well, and people are we're all just learning how to use it effectively. Obviously, for social media, kind of consider that technology, videos and things like that. There are some older agents that don't really do videos and don't have a social media presence. And so that's kind of, it's good for the people that do. Certainly in this day and age, you need to, and so that helps.
So the technology, would you say, is for the better, or for
I think
the worse?
it's certainly, yeah. I think most technology in real estate helps us, all of that stuff, from digital signatures, so somebody doesn't have to come into the office to sign, or you don't have to go chase them down, you can just send them and have a digital signature. Obviously, when you're signing your actual deed at the notaries, you need to be here and sign in pen, and the signature needs to match what's on your ID, your passport or your INE card. That's really important. I'm just going to do a post about that this week, because I've had several clients recently that have had issues because it doesn't match. So
yeah, you cannot use your artistic signature. You gotta use what you have, right?
Very important here in Mexico that it matches. They look, and if it doesn't match, no bueno.
No bueno. So what tools or platforms do you use to stay ahead of the curve? Stay ahead of the game?
Well, I have Facebook and Instagram, obviously. I have my page on the Donner & Associates website. I have TikTok that I've started to use. And
those are very important to stay ahead of the curve, like to stay ahead.
Yeah, and then, I guess those are the only sites, unless you're thinking of something else or I'm missing. I'm not understanding.
No, I know you mentioned AI. Do you use AI to help you either come up with ideas or ways?
Yeah, I've started to. I mean, it's such a, I'm older than I look.
You look like two quinceañeras.
Gracias. I'll take 3, but
okay.
It's knowing not to be afraid, and I've just been figuring out for a few things. The more questions you ask it, don't just ask it. What's a good area for me to sell to my clients? You need to give it more information, and you need to keep asking and get more detailed, and it can give you great answers that way. But you can use it in so many ways. A lot of agents use it to write their listings, the panoramic view off the expansive terrace with the, all of that stuff. I love to write. I am a fairly good writer and creative, so I don't need it for that.
But
I can look up a synonym if I really need to. But you really say most of the same stuff. I mean, everybody has a living room and everybody has a terrace or a balcony. You're not reinventing the wheel.
Right. Most of the time it's just more of a play on words, right? What words to use that most suitable to describe and to make that dream place, or to push it and say this is the place you want to buy.
Right, and I mean it can help a lot of people, because narrative is very important in everything, storytelling, and so selling the property to a potential buyer so they can see it as their own, but if it's lots of people can tell if it's AI and some people can't, but if it's too flowery and then if too many adjectives, you just lose the person, because you're like, we want to know what the property is all about and what it can do for us, and what how we're going to be when we're there, and how what are we going to see or how we're going to feel, all of that stuff. And if it's just all shiny, creamy ceramic floor, I mean, it doesn't really help.
So, are there any emerging trends or innovations that excite you in the real estate industry at the moment?
I think that it's talking about technology and Facebook, open houses that aren't that well attended here by clients, like buyers. It's mostly agents that go to them. It's kind of more like a broker's open that they have in Canada and the States. I would love to see more just regular people come. So come on, if you see an open house, you're more than welcome. They're open to everybody, but people are starting to do like live, Facebook Live open houses. I have one this week. I'm going to do Facebook Live, so anybody can see it on Facebook anywhere in the world, and they feel like they're there at the open house.
Right.
They get to have a walkthrough and see everything.
And you reach a broader audience, because then you're not just limited to the people here that are physically going to. Now you reach people in Canada, in the US, or even in England or Europe or anywhere that are looking for a place, and that's really good.
And if they're watching live, they can ask a question. They can type in,
and you answer it right there and then, or do you get back to it?
Well, if they ask it right then and I see it, yeah, I'll ask it right then. The good thing, though, that Facebook Live video will stay up on the platform for a while, so people can see it the next day and the next week. So you're getting a lot more views out of it.
Absolutely. And they can reach your answers at any time, whether it's right on live as it's happening, or if they tune in a week later and you can answer that question.
Yeah, and it's a great way because they can share it. I'm not looking, but my cousin Cindy's looking. Share it. Cindy, look at this place. It's easy to share. Most people have figured out how to share something on Facebook.
Absolutely.
So.
And people have, like you said, the power to share with their friends, and then it becomes a subject of conversation or a topic of conversation. You know, ladies out at brunch talking about Derek Carkner and their open house. I mean, it's something that happens because now with the platforms that we have and the tools, an open house through a live stream and it's something on video, then people can carry it and have a conversation about it.
They're like, I can't believe he serves caviar and champagne at his open houses. But you got to show up to find out.
Interestingly, that might be the topic of the whole thing. It's not even about the floors or the kitchen.
Well, it is kind of among ourselves, the agents, and there is talk. Because how do you grab people to the open houses? People are hiring chefs. People are going all out.
And entertainment as well, live music or a live performer.
Yeah, I had from Cacao Mexico at Puerto Mexico, chocolate. I had bubbles and chocolate, I called it, and I had thousands and thousands of pesos of dark chocolate and white chocolate bark on this huge platter, and then Prosecco, and I had sparkling mineral waters for people. So yeah, you just have to do something different.
Right. And so what advice would you give to someone that is just starting real estate, as a new real estate agent? Not that I'm starting real estate, but it's something.
Hitch your wagon to an agency that offers you a lot of support, whether it's just with a good team or good education. Because if you're starting out, that's going to be important for you to build your foundation.
Right, and knowledge about the places, the area, what you're selling. I mean, I'm just butting in.
You're not going to get clients day one, knocking on the door. You might get a walk-in somewhere if you're lucky, but you don't get them
immediately.
You're going to get them slowly but surely, and hopefully with good word of mouth, you get more. And then you prove your worth kind of with your knowledge. And that's... it's like a lot of people talk about luck is actually preparation and opportunity kind of meeting or things like that. You don't get necessarily lucky with clients here. You have to be prepared, and I think the good properties, they're going to meet lots of agents and interview them, and I always recommend that. Interview somebody because you're in a relationship with them for a while, and so you need to be with them for many months and have intimate conversations sometimes, and you want to be able to have somebody that you can either confide in or joke with, and I would really want an agent that jokes around. There's a time and place, obviously, and stuff like that. Yeah, and I try to make things simple for my clients and say, we're going to make this the most easy transaction for you. So you're not going to have any stress. My assistant, our team here, everybody's going to make it so easy for you, and that's important. And and to be able to joke around. I've become friends with so many clients because they're just like, you're a great guy. When we come to town, let's go and see a show and stuff like that.
Right.
So.
Well, that is so cool. And now, what are some common mistakes you see clients or agents make, and how can they be avoided?
I think one of the big ones that every agent will probably talk about now is pricing too high. We had kind of a post-COVID bubble and where everything was selling really well and high, and then people were like, oh, my agent or my neighbor sold for $3 million, so let's list for $3 million. And you're like, well, now the market's corrected and back to normal, and it's only worth $1 million. They're like, well, let's list it for 2.5, and you're like, well, all we're going to do is list. I don't want to just list properties. I want to sell them for my clients. So you need to kind of trust your agent that they're doing clients day one, knocking on the market analysis for you that shows you what the price should be. You need to be somewhere in that neighborhood if you want to sell it, because the market dictates. It's not me. I can't just tell people this is $2 million, buy it, or this is $1 million.
Right. Now, how can we avoid those mistakes?
Well, I guess, dealing with an agent who's with AMPI, somebody who's knowledgeable, who will do a comparative market analysis to say, this is what's sold in your building recently, or this is what's sold in your neighborhood recently. This one with a pool sold for less than the one you want to sell for, and you don't even have a pool. So we need to kind of be smart if we want to sell it. And it's not, you can't get too emotional in selling your property, and that's with everything. Like, this is worth so much. I'm like, well, that's a portrait of your ex-husband. I don't think anybody even wants that. It might be worth something to you, so why don't you take it with you, and then let's lower the price to be something more realistic.
We grow attachment to our stuff, and so that's sometimes where we say, this is so valuable.
Well, and you're like, I love this view. This is the beautiful view. And you're like, well, if you love the brick wall across from you, that's great. But not everybody's going to love that view.
Right.
It's going to be worth a little bit less to most people.
Right.
So you need to kind of walk the clients through what the average person is going to do. Like, when I go through and declutter, they're like, you don't want me to leave that on the wall? I'm like, no, that's, And here, there are, with gay men, there's, a little more nudity in some of the art. There's a lot more kind of Catholic imagery with crosses and things like that. And some of that you need to say, listen, we kind of need to make it a little more generic for anybody to come through.
Can you share any best practices or tips for success in this industry?
I think, like any industry, communication is very important. There's a lot of my frustration recently is with agents and
communication is key.
And people that just don't answer on time, don't answer at all, don't answer your questions. And it's very simple to be a good agent and a good client, to just answer your messages and provide the information that's necessary. We would all be much further ahead if people just did that. And it's amazing how so many people that can't.
Would you say they don't answer because they're afraid of the question, or they don't know the answer?
I mean, it depends. There's some people that are lazy and just, I'll get to it. There's some people that don't know and don't bother asking. So it's a mixture of things.
Is there anything you'd like to add that we may have not covered in our conversation for anyone that's buying or looking to buy?
I think if you're looking to buy, what I always say is, I think, get an AMPI agent. So AMPI it's an acronym. The English translation is basically the Mexican Professional Association of Real Estate Agents.
And that's INVI.
So,
and that's in INVI?
AMPI.
Sorry.
AMPI. So an AMPI affiliated agent is top of the list, or work at an AMPI affiliated agency. They may have some agents that are still finishing up the training, but could help you nonetheless, because they're going to be up to date on everything in the market and everything. There's great classes, and AMPI has you do education hours every year to keep your status.
Right.
And then, I always say interview the agents, because it's a personal relationship. So make sure that you're going to get along with them. Make sure
and you have the right questions, right?
Exactly. Ask them what they've sold. Ask them what their marketing plan is, because there's people that have switched to me because they've said, we didn't have any showings, and then I realized my agent doesn't have a Facebook page and doesn't do any social media. And in this day and age, you need to be marketing in social media.
Wow, thank you so much for that. I think those are really good points to cover, really good things that you should have in mind while you're buying here in Puerto Vallarta, and also selling, because you also want to have all of that. How can our audience get a hold of you? How can we find you? How can they find you?
Well, you can search Gay Guide Vallarta.
Absolutely, you can find us in Gay Guide Vallarta.
Find me there in the directory. That's a great resource for anything in Vallarta. But if you're looking for me, I'm there. Derek Carkner can be found at derek@ryandonner.com for my email address. You can find me on WhatsApp, 322-152-3634. Reach out.
Write it down.
Anytime. And email is great. Yeah, Derek at Ryan Donner. Go on to ryandonner.com and find, or Donner and Associates, and find other agents. If lots of people are like, I want a woman. We've got great and very smart and talented, experienced women here. If you want somebody that yo puedo hablar español, pero if you're Mexican watching this and you want to work with a Mexican, we have those here. We have all shapes and sizes, and that's what also makes it great. And yes, yeah, fantastic,
Wow.
fantastic.
Thank you so much for all this information. This is really good information. I hope you guys can, if you didn't get all of it, rewind the video. It's all there. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. And I know people, some from ads and I posted that people reach out and say hi and things like that. Thank you for supporting Gay Guide. And
thank you so much.
Thanks for coming to Vallarta. And yeah, if you're looking, let me help you buy or sell a property here.
Derek Carkner, everyone. And I am Isaac with Gay Guide Vallarta. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. You'll see us next time.
Gracias, Isaac.